Hi, I'm Jon Velie, CEO of OnlineVisas, and welcome to Voice of Immigration. We're going to talk about three things today in immigration and how they'll impact you. Well, the first one is, when will U.S. immigration reopen for in-person interviews? Well, I'm filming this on June 3rd, so it's tomorrow, June 4th, that they'll reopen. So from their website, they're preparing to some domestic offices to reopen and resume non-emergency public services on or after June 4th. We're already starting to see some interviews setting up for this week. Those are interviews for marriage petitions and naturalization ceremonies, things like that. So look at that. You might see if you have an appointment, whether or not you contact them if it's still on. So those are things to do. And there's some notes they said. They will reduce the number of appointments and interviews to ensure social distancing, allow time for cleaning, and reduce waiting room occupancy. So I don't think there'll be full houses. Also, they ask if you're feeling sick, please don't go to your appointment. Follow the instructions on your appointment notice to reschedule your appointment for when you're healthy. There's no penalty for rescheduling your appointment if you're sick. So that's the first question. Number two, when will the borders reopen? Well, the U.S. has agreements with Canada and Mexico to limit all non-essential travel across the borders, meaning that essential travel is still happening. They'll no longer detain illegal immigrants in holding facilities and will immediately return these people to their country they entered from, Canada or Mexico, where such a return is not possible. They'll return these aliens to their country of origin. These measures were implemented on March 21st, 2020, and were originally in place for 30 days, subject to reevaluation and an extension. And on April 20th, they were extended, and on May 19th, they were extended again until June 22nd, 2020. So it's a long way to get to that answer. So the borders look to reopen on June 22nd, 2020. So another issue that has been intriguing, difficult for some, I guess appreciated by others, depending on political bent, fear, and those sort of things, is the ban on Chinese students into the United States. So on June 1st, the ban started for certain citizens and nationals of China, accordance with the presidential proclamation made on May 29th. So the proclamation prevents certain Chinese nationals associated with entities in China that implement or support China's military-civil fusion strategy from entering the United States under the F or J immigrant visas, non-immigrant visas. The proclamation is indefinite in duration, and it defines the military fusion strategies as actions by or on behest of the People's Republic of China to acquire and divert foreign technologies, specifically critical and emerging technologies, to incorporate into and advance China's military capabilities. No further guidance is provided on the term military-civil fusion strategy, which is tough. I mean, because what does that mean, and how do you define who that person is? So I don't know that there's a high bar. So what is the F and J visa? Well, the F1 visa is for non-immigrant students, and when they say F, that could also mean spouses, which would be on F2s. And the J is an exchange visitor program, and they enter for, there's a number of different J's: teaching, instructing, lecturing, studying, observing, training, conducting research, demonstrating special skills, receiving graduate medical education or training. All those things are different ways that you could get a J visa. So those are out there. So who's barred? The proclamation is limited in application to graduate level or higher students and researchers from China, who, and here's how they're going to do it, receive funding or who are currently employed by, study at, or conduct research on or behalf of the Chinese government, or have been employed by, studied at, or conducted research on or behalf of an entity in the Chinese government's military-civil fusion strategy. The proclamation does not bar entry in the United States of the following individuals who are citizens of national China: undergrads. All right, so coming to be a freshman at UC Berkeley or NYU, Any undergraduate program, you can still come. Lawful permanent residents of the United States. So if you're a Chinese citizen and you're a green card holder, you're not barred. Spouses of U.S. citizens or green card holders in the United States, members of the U.S. Armed Forces, and any foreign national who is a spouse or child of a member of the U.S. Armed Forces, and then foreign nationals traveling per UN headquarters agreement, such as China's UN representative, or under an international agreements, the United States such as signatory. Foreign nationals studying or conducting research in a field involving information that would not contribute to China's military-civil fusion strategy as determined by the U.S. government. So that one you might want to get some clarification on if your field is covered or not covered. And foreign nationals entering the United States to further law enforcement, or foreign nationals that must enter the United States to serve certain national security interests. All right, so that's it. Those are 3 things on immigration. I'm Jon Velie, CEO of OnlineVisas, and we're delivering dreams one visa at a time. Check us out on Facebook. Check us out on LinkedIn. Go to YouTube. Please subscribe and share if you like us. We really appreciate that. Comment. We'll get back to you. Or go to onlinevisas.com and set up a strategy session. Love to talk to you about your situation. Take care.